Hello, you're listening to ReedyGeeks, a Walt Disney World podcast. My name is Andrew, and I'm joined today by the Nightcrawler of Animal Kingdom, JJ.
I like that. Can we put that on a shirt?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be a good shirt.
Got to close out Animal Kingdom, baby.
If you have a good title for my co-host after listening to this episode, please send in your ideas to readygeeks@gmail.com. In today's mini episode, we're reviewing and asking some questions about a new offering that's popped up in EPCOT's Mexican Pavilion, the Cava Experience. Since its creation in 1982, EPCOT has represented new themes for Disney parks. While Disneyland and the Magic Kingdom focused on stories of fantasy and adventure, EPCOT focused on edutainment, culture and immersion, and, of course, alcohol. Alcohol, which was originally not present in Walt's Disneyland, is now available in all Disney parks around the world in some form or another. In EPCOT alone, festivals and social drinking clubs have made alcohol a prominent and profitable focus of the modern Disney company. Meanwhile, some may argue that edutainment has been less of a focus over the last 40 years, and little has been done since the 80s to expand on the already present representation of international cultures. That's why I was happy to see that EPCOT was able to find a three-way intersection between edutainment, cultural representation, and alcohol in a new experience at the Mexican Pavilion called the Cava Experience. With a certified tequila ambassador as our host, we learned the history and sampled the taste of quintessential Mexican spirit. I was lucky enough to experience this with my wife, my brother-in-law, and his girlfriend.
Here we go. Soar into tower. We are ready for takeoff. Look alive.
I'm a little curious to know, like, how it went and how, like, what you do when you're going there.
Okay, so it's it's kind of like a dining event, but there's no real eating. It's just drinking.
Right. So you have like a little check-in. There's like a check-in point.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. And then you're in front of you when they seat you down. You have 5 glasses, like champagne-like glasses, and they're filled up with 5 different tequilas. And so this is a tasting experience where they're gonna tell you how the proper way to taste tequila. What notes you should be tasting from each of the tequilas. They're all different types of tequila. So also in front of you it's like an orange peel. There's some coffee grinds. There are different things that for you to smell before tasting the tequila because it'll bring out different notes, things like that.
Like a lime and salt.
Yeah,
You lick the salt, and then you do the shot, and then you eat the lime? Is that how that works?
There wasn't that, but he did explain, because leading us through this was a tequila ambassador from the town of Tequila in Mexico.
You got to pay extra for that.
Yeah, I mean, that was he was amazing, too. He knew his stuff. He was talking the entire time and was really good, really passionate about his tequila. I really wish I was passionate about anything as much as that guy is passionate about tequila.
That makes sense.
So it was a tasting experience where, he walked us through each of those tequilas, yeah.
Okay. Was there like a standout moment during this? Like, did you discover that you hate tequila? Discover that you love tequila?
So I went into this already loving tequila.
Okay.
But my tequila knowledge comes from my favorite tequila is the Kirkland tequila.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That Costco sells, right?
Sure, that's award winning.
It's really good. Don't pass on the Kirkland tequila. Don't sit on Kirkland tequila. Don't sit on it.
Don't sit on it. Don't sleep on it.
Don't sleep on it. That's what. Yeah.
I won't sit on it either, so it's fine.
That could be a good title. Tequila sitting Andrew.
You're giving yourself nicknames now. I like it.
I was already into tequila, but I think the biggest standout moment was the times when he would tell you to pick up certain things that were placed in front of you, like a coffee bean or chocolate, a specific type of chocolate, or a lemon. And there was one where it was a cinnamon stick, and he wanted us to wrap the cinnamon stick in lemon and then rub that in between our hands, smell that, and then drink the tequila right away, like sip it right away. And
Did it change it?
It did. It really did. It brought out different notes. That was probably the best part. That specific one too.
That's really interesting. And then what building is this?
Yeah, so we thought it was going to be at the La Cava bar
Right,
that's in
'cause
the
it says
Mexican
La Cava,
Pavilion.
right?
Yeah. But it's not. It's at the restaurant that's outside of the Mexican Pavilion over the water.
Oh, my old Illuminations hack.
Yeah.
I love that place. Especially on a hot day, you could get reservations at the restaurant, sit at the window and watch the show. Oh, so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great one. So it was in a back room back there, and he the ambassador was saying that he wants to take that room and turn it into a tequila themed room, like not tequila the drink, but the town tequila, so that when you enter that room, you feel like you're entering the town of tequila.
More authentic.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I
Actually,
also
that would be really cool.
I also didn't know there was a town tequila in Mexico.
Yeah,
No idea.
Yeah, there's a town. It's like how bourbon is a place, right?
Yeah. Or champagne.
Right. Champagne's a place too.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Learned a lot this trip.
Geography lessons. They really take when you get to drink 5 shots of tequila.
Yeah. So maybe we should talk about how much tequila.
Oh yeah. Was it 5 full shots?
So I think it was about an ounce each, and because they wanted us to at least sip it twice, and for most, I got 3 sips out of it.
Yeah. It's probably it's either exactly half a shot or a little more, right? Like shots of 1.5 ounces. So then, probably 0.75 to 1 ounce. Yeah, that makes sense. So that's not bad then. So, but that's still like having 3 shots, right?
Yeah, the whole experience was about an hour. So
that'll get your day going.
yeah, and they start you off with a shot of vodka because vodka is a palate cleanser, and so they want, or maybe they just wanted to get us drunk. I don't know.
What kind of palate?
I didn't really
Interesting.
take that
So-
in too much of why we were doing vodka first, but apparently that is gonna get rid of what you were eating or drinking before.
Oh, because it's like maybe it has something to do with that. It's such vodka. The only thing you taste is like the alcohol burn. Mm-hmm. So maybe you need to almost like get your body used to the burn so that you can taste more of the other stuff in the tequila.
Bring up me honey Joe.
Okay, so then that leads me to how much was the experience?
So the whole experience is $180, not including tax. Gratuity is included in that. So you can tip him, like we did tip more, but it's not expected that you do like maybe 20% extra because it's already built into the price.
Oh, okay, cool. So,
But I think it was a good, like 180 is a big shock. That's a big shock, right?
Right.
You could do a lot with $180 in Disney.
right. I mean I think you can drink around the world for less than that.
Yeah. Yep. I think so
And
too.
everyone thinks that alcohol is very expensive. I mean, alcohol is expensive when you go out, period.
Yeah.
Right? So, but do you think this $180 is worth it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Really?
I absolutely do. I would do it again. I would do it again.
Wow.
On a special occasion, maybe like someone's bachelor party or something like that. Or
Oh, that's interesting.
no, I would do it again. The tequila was really good. It was all high end tequila. It all retails for around $100 to $130 a bottle of the 5 tequilas that they gave you.
Wow.
Just like the one-on-one experience with him too. Like I know there was other people there, but like our ambassador was so good at making everyone seem seen.
I'm surprised they didn't come up with a catchier term because like sommelier for wine, and they're just like ambassador.
Yeah.
Tequila ambassador.
Tequila ambassador. Yeah.
Could have made it so much more magical.
Yeah. It's not a one and done. Like I could definitely do it again. And I think they could expand it too. Like you could do this in almost every pavilion with a different drink. Right?
Oh,
with a
yeah.
different type. You do it with beer. I mean, a beer tasting wouldn't be, it would I don't think it could
beer
be.
tasting could be a fun experience in America if you have,
Yeah.
you could showcase some different varieties. You could also do one in Germany with they've got so many world-class beer makers in Germany and
You could do bourbon in
you could do bourbon in America. Sake in Japan.
Yep.
Wow. Champagne in France. Let's
Should we come up with all of them?
Yeah, let's just rapid fire go through all of them. This is good entertainment. Okay, so did you retain any of the information that your ambassador taught you?
How to taste, right?
Okay, what's the proper tasting?
I can't ruin it for you guys.
Oh, you can't ruin it for us. Okay, this is a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert for drinking tequila.
Did I retain anything else? Oh, that's a good question. I'm not the fair one to ask about this. I bet you if this interview was with me and my wife would have would rattle things off, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's right. Yep, no, I knew that. I knew that. Yeah."
Okay, I'll make sure to ask her when I see her next.
Yeah. We got to trick her, get her on the show.
Trick her? Or we're just gonna call her and put her on speakerphone one day?
No, we'll be like, you gotta come to JJ's. You gotta come to JJ's for some event, right? It's maybe some type of wedding shower.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it's for the bride.
Yeah, it's for the bride. You gotta come to JJ's. Come into this recording studio, Emily.
I think that's all my questions. That is I think I learned a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it makes me want to drink tequila, so I think you did that job.
I came out of it thinking after we were done, I was like, oh, okay, I don't feel that drunk. That couldn't have been 5 shots, and it probably wasn't. But then once I started moving, I left. The sun hits you, right? And I'm like, oh my god,
that Florida heat.
I am a lot drunker than I thought. And we're not.
You're seasoned.
We're seasoned veterans, yeah.
Right.
We went back to the pool. We were staying at Beach Club this trip on points, on Michael's points. And we went back we were going to go back to the pool, and we all took naps.
My siestas are getting shorter and shorter.
So, okay. So that says a lot about,
Yeah.
you're definitely getting a lot of tequila.
Yeah, yeah. And it was high praise from everybody. Everyone had a good time.
Cool. Yeah. That's great. I'm looking at the time. You think we got time for a game?
I would love to play a game.
Okay, Andrew. I've got a game for us, and I am tentatively titling this You Mad Brah? And that would be us taking a look and figuring out what critiques of Disney World that I've found online are valid or not.
Okay.
Okay?
Is there a way to win this game?
I think the winners are the people that already turned the podcast off.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Always losing.
Mommy, can you please make him stop?
No one can. And don't interrupt me like that again.
Okay, so I have a list in front of me of things that I've heard or seen online, and then we will be the deciders to figure out if these complaints are valid or not.
Okay. Do we have to agree?
No, I don't think we necessarily have to agree, but I think maybe we should try to agree. But we'll see how that goes.
Maybe it's like a jury, right? We have to come to an agreement for it to be guilty of.
Right. Yes.
Right?
We need to have a unanimous come to a unanimous decision, or the jury is hung. And then maybe if you find us on social media at ReedyGeeks, you can put your 2 cents in and see if you can sway us further.
Absolutely.
All right. So my first thing here. Disney is too expensive for what they are offering.
So I would like to know, if you're saying that, what are your other vacations like? Right? Like what are your expectations for a vacation price point wise? Because I know people who go to Broadway shows that's 3 hours long and spend more than I would spend at a park ticket at Disney.
And a day of, like, you think about, we live in an area in which we can just take the train into the city and go see a Broadway show.
Right.
But that also involves having a meal in the city, the train tickets, all that stuff. I don't think you can come out of a night like that for two people without spending
Or at least
$600.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was going to say.
And that's just in one evening. That's not even a full day.
Yeah. And as far as prices in the park go, I mean, have you been to a baseball stadium lately? Have you been to any stadium really? Like,
Right, everything's expensive.
yeah, and those places are, so much more expensive. We're talking like $12, $14 for a Bud Light, like ridiculous.
Yeah. So I think we're in agreement here that Disney is expensive, but everything is expensive, so this is not valid.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to move on, because we could apparently keep talking about this forever. Why is there no Darth Vader in Star Wars Land?
Oh, there's not? Oh.
No, because Star Wars Land, Galaxy's Edge, Batuu, there's no Darth Vader.
And it
Because
takes...
it all takes place, it's all themed. It's all specifically supposed to take place within canon between Episode 8 and Episode 9.
So do you... the complaint is that he's not there, right?
The complaint, and this is kind of a shorthand for people are mad that it's this trilogy and not a celebration of all of Star Wars in the Star Wars Land. That people are mad that the theming was so specific. They wanted a more general experience.
I think that's fair.
You think that's fair?
I think that's fair, especially because of how it doesn't... what they gave us with Galaxy's Edge, it wouldn't matter when it was, right? Like, if there were more offerings, more rides, and more entertainment that, that really puts you in that specific time frame, like, all I have is that Rey's running around every once in a while, or that Kylo Ren is is on a stage somewhere. Other than that, I could be in any time frame.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that it's not valid. But I think that is a very compelling argument. So much of me wants to be like, stop being a baby. This thing that's really cool and really great isn't what you wrote it out to be in your head when you heard about it. Be flexible. Like, enjoy the cool thing that's a cool thing that's there. Because Star Wars Land is a really cool thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a little bit of a point. I think people just shouldn't be a baby about it.
And are these the same people that are complaining about a lack of immersion? Like, you want to be immersed in a time period, a land.
Well, I think there's different people. I think there's people that say, go farther. I need more immersion. But then I think it's a little bit of what you said, where you said, if you're giving me this immersion, go all the way in so that it makes sense that we're stuck in this time period.
Yeah, they kind of they went half and half. They said, we're in this time period, but we're not really going to do much in
enough,
it.
Right.
Yeah,
we're not going to do enough to sell us, to sell people, to sell everyone.
Yeah.
Apparently I'm a little bit sold, right? Not that I'm sold that this is the best version of Star Wars Land. I just know what theme parks can do and have you could have a really great IP that has a bad land. And I don't think this is a bad land. I don't think it's a finished land, but I don't think it's a bad land. I think it's good. When you go in there, you don't feel like you're in Disney's Hollywood Studios. That Rise of the Resistance is one of the coolest rides / experiences ever. And one of the coolest, if not the coolest thing Disney's ever done as an individual thing.
Yeah.
But I do think this is right, though, at the same time. I think this is a valid complaint. Because Star Wars is Darth Vader, and Darth Vader is Star Wars. It's always been Darth Vader, right? Everything's all been about Vader this whole time.
Yeah. And I bet you Vader's making... I wonder how much Vader makes some money versus Kylo Ren.
Right.
I don't know.
But maybe this is a...
No one wants a Kylo Ren helmet.
I actually think the Kylo Ren helmet is kind of cool, but I mean, I'd rather have a Darth Vader helmet.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Although maybe this is Disney's putting their toe in the water for something really crazy that Universal does, and that's Harry Potter's in every single Universal park. They can't not have a Universal park with, like, there's no Universal park that doesn't have Harry Potter in it. Maybe this is them dipping their toe in. Well, there's a lot of Star Wars IP, so Hollywood Studios was in the most dire need. We were so focused on the trilogy that we were currently making when we made it. Let's give Hollywood Studios the new trilogy.
Mm-hmm. And you think that they'll put Star Wars somewhere else?
Maybe there's going to be an original trilogy land to be had in a different location.
Could be.
And then, because people keep pushing the envelope of what people want in terms of immersion in a land, like that bar keeps getting raised, right? So why not wait until the bar's really high and then give us what we really want?
I have a bad feeling about this.
I think that Universal, I know Universal has tons of IP, but do they really? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they just think they don't. Maybe they just think we can't make a park without Harry Potter. That would, we need Harry Potter. Harry Potter is the anchor to our parks.
I mean, they certainly design their parks that way, where every park has a Harry Potter section. If it didn't have a park, and if it existed before they had Harry Potter lands, they've officially shoehorned Harry Potter into their park.
Yeah.
Harry Potter's in Japan. Harry Potter's in California. Harry Potter's in all three, if you count the park that isn't open yet, in all three parks in Florida.
You know what's funny? How everyone complains about Disney hiding things behind paywalls right now with individual Lightning Lane and Genie Plus, but no one really gives Universal that same treatment with Harry Potter's the Hogwarts Express. Like, that's a paywall. You need to buy a park hopper in order to go on to that ride.
That takes you between the two parks.
Yeah. I mean, that's an extra cost, basically just for that ride. Like, yes, you can go to the other park, but if you want to experience this ride, you have to double the price of your ticket.
I would actually venture to say that
people celebrate
Universal Florida, not Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios Florida is not a full day park, and you actually need to be able to hop back and forth. Because if you do 2 days, 1 day in each park, you're going to be bored during the day that you're just in Universal Florida and not at Islands of Adventure.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you're going to buy, I think maybe you can spend 2 full days at that resort, but you're going to be spending 75% of your time at Islands of Adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, we did it in 1 day last time we went.
Yeah, I think that's very normal.
It was a busy day, but we did it. You have to have their express pass.
Right. Here's one that's close to my heart. The EPCOT construction complaints that were rampant. Walcott, too many walls, and then turning into, why is there just a park in the middle of here, to the now with Communicore Hall? Why is there an airport terminal in Epcot? And it's just 3 such crazy invalid complaints.
I would agree on this one. Yeah. That what we got was definitely much better than what we had. This park idea. Well, yeah, it's a theme park, right? And look at Epic Universe. Everyone's saying how great Epic Universe is going to look. Well, that has a huge park in the middle of it too. That middle land area is just basically park and a lake.
Right.
A water feature would be nice. And those people, I'm like, okay, that would be nice. Maybe they could do that later on. But we needed the walls to come down, and for some reason they had to cut it. So get over it, right?
Right. Yeah, would it be nice if there was a fountain there like we're used to seeing? Sure. But you're there, enjoy yourself. Don't be mad about you didn't draw up the design and now you're disappointed that your design isn't what's there. That's a valid complaint. I had a better idea, but really had better ideas, maybe you would be the one designing the stuff.
Well, and especially Communicore Hall, like, but people say, and I don't know who.
What do you want from a theme? Like, what do you want theming-wise from a place that's supposed to be a sitting area and a character meet and greet?
Yeah.
What did you expect? It's a box with some stuff in it.
And, you know, I don't know who had said this, but I heard someone say this. This isn't my own idea here, but they're going to use this space for corporate outings, right? Corporations are going to be able to rent this space out. So it needs to be blank so that they can make it into whatever they want it to be.
Change it out seasonally, dress it up for certain events, dress it down.
And if it's going to be the festival center, then like you can't make it themed too heavily towards one of the festivals. And, you know, so then when a festival comes in, then they're going to probably theme it up, I hope, you know.
Right. It's at least a blank enough slate where that is an option.
And when people look back at the concept art we got with that huge, like futuristic building there, I think if they actually made that, people would have been so angry that it would have, you know, people would have been like, oh, sight lines.
Right. It blocks my view. I can't see the World Showcase Lagoon from the park.
Yeah.
They would have been so mad about that.
All right, so not valid.
Not valid.
Let the hate flow through you.
Okay, and then I think I have one that's close to your heart, not to show our hand or anything. Okay. The new tower at the Polynesian that's currently being built sucks and is ugly.
Oh, boy. I love this tower. I think this tower is going to be great. I think it looks really good.
It looks like Olani, right?
Yeah, it does. It does. Well, like a Four Seasons Alani. You know, like it looks luxurious, right?
Yeah.
And this hotel, like the hotel rooms looked great. The artwork, the design in the carpet area, the wall art, sculpture, the wall sculpture looked really cool. Like, I don't know, the new boardwalk doesn't have anything to do with boardwalks, northeastern boardwalks during the 1930s or 1920s.
Oh, the new boardwalk rooms.
The new boardwalk rooms, yeah. Like,
right.
You know, they're not themed. Like,
well, the alarm clocks don't wake you up like a carnival barker?
No. Oh my God.
That's poor theming. Jeez.
They could actually add those into the Hey Disney.
Oh, Hey Disney?
Hey Disney.
Wake up, see?
But I think it looks awesome.
Well, wake ups are $5.
I also think Polynesian desperately needed more restaurants. Like, I don't think for what they are, like being next to Grand Floridian, you know, you have so many restaurants at Grand Floridian, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah. Right. And then, yes, because the lobby area of Polynesian is so
crowded,
small and crowded. Like, I'd love to hang out at the Tambu Lounge, but it's so packed all the time because everyone's just sitting there waiting for their Ohana reservations.
Right.
Like, they sit like that'd be such a cool spot to like hang out, have a drink with a pineapple in it. People watch a little bit, but it's chaos. Mm-hmm. It's not a comfortable, relaxing environment.
Yeah. We'll see with this tower of how it actually comes out. The only thing I'm really concerned about is the amount of people going to be on the monorail. I think they need to redo the protocols of the monorail, like maybe reserve different cars for different resorts or something like that.
Right. Yeah, they'll have to redirect what they're doing people wise and monorail wise.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is going to spell the end of the monorail from the Transportation Ticket Center to the Magic Kingdom.
Oh, that's interesting.
I wonder if it's going to be you can take the monorail to EPCOT from the TTC, but the monorail proper, that monorail loop, is just for the people, just for the hotels.
Oof, that would be a busy boat. That'd be a crowded boat.
Right, that's gonna be a really. Yeah, but you could always. I mean, it's easier to buy another boat than it is to redo a train system.
Yeah, and I don't think they could add more monorails on there safely.
Right,
Like,
you would just have to
that.
use the tracks differently.
Yeah,
the tracks that are already there. You'd have to figure out how to send the trains that already exist in a different route.
I guess you could use still the express. You could still, right? Because that's a different track. So you could do the express from TTC to Magic Kingdom.
Well, that's what I was thinking, is that actually the express track would just become more resorts.
More resorts.
That's how you double the capacity of the monorails to the resorts by cutting it elsewhere.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh, don't give them ideas. Oh, they don't.
Okay, I'll cut it.
Well, that's progress for you.
All right, was that the last one?
Well, I do have one more that I'm going to end with, and it's one that I think I'm pretty confident is an invalid opinion, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Back in my day, Disney was better, meaning that Disney is much worse today than it's ever been, and it's only been getting worse for 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. And I think that's easily invalid.
Yeah. I think you could look at certain things like we were talking about Genie Plus versus the Fast Pass, right? The original Fast Pass. You could look at specific things and say, oh, this isn't as good, this isn't as good. But as a whole, I mean, the Disney of the early 2000s, they weren't doing anything. There was no new stuff in the early 2000s.
Right. Disney, and even the early 2010s, like, if you went to Disney in 2007 and then went again in 2011, there was almost nothing new.
Right.
In that 4-year period. And then if you went 2011 and then you went again in like 2014, the only thing new would be the new Fantasyland.
Right.
And then maybe if you went late enough in the year, that would also be Pandora. But I think Disney's been overall getting better and better. With the exception of, I do think the pandemic is kind of where it was approaching a peak. It's in a bit of a lull right now, but that's because they're not building new rides right now. Mm-hmm. They finished building all their new rides, and I guess they did almost the reverse of what other people would want, where like, okay, redo the center part of Epcot and then show us the cool ride, not open the ride, then show us the middle area.
Right.
So that, your excitement could build upwards. But a park in the middle of Epcot isn't going to get more people to Epcot. But you know what will? A $200 million roller coaster that's amazing.
Right, yeah.
So guess what? They're going to open up the $200 million roller coaster that's going to get people to Epcot first.
And I just think if you take it park by park, Animal Kingdom in the 2000 aughts, right, was a half-day park. I mean, imagine Animal Kingdom with Camp Mickey and Minnie instead of Pandora. I mean, what are you doing there? You know what I mean? Like, that's not even a half-day park. That's like just a 3 hours in the morning park. That's like
what
like
do you
nothing.
even do? You go on Expedition Everest on the single rider on like 3 times. You pray that dinosaur is like in A mode, and then you just leave.
Yeah, and do the safari. Yeah.
Oh right, the safari. Yeah. How could I forget the safari? It's like it is like the most Animal Kingdom thing there.
So, Animal Kingdom's better. Hollywood Studios, no one was going there, so much so that they did those Star Wars weekends, and that was because nobody was going to that park.
Right. And also it was a park that you showed up in the morning. And you rode the Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster and Toy Story Midway Mania, and then you left.
Yeah. And Epcot, I don't think you could say that Epcot was better back then with Ellen DeGeneres' ride and the concrete jungle in the middle of the park.
They had like 5 rides that were just like, this is the history of people. This is the history of farms. This is the history of imagination. Oh, transportation, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the history of energy. Like
history of communication. Yeah.
Ooh, the future sphere. It's what people in 1965 imagined what life would be like in 1987.
I love entertainment. I love living with the land. What I just said was living with the land slander. But I'm going to retract just that part because a little edutainment goes a very long way. And just having Spaceship Earth and living with the land is like nice, nostalgic, and like a fun little whimsical version of what Epcot was originally.
Yeah, and everything could be better, right? Like we could pick apart every park and say, oh, we could plus it here, we could add something there,
and we will.
Yeah, we will over time. But I think for the most part, if over the last 20 years, they have just absolutely gotten better. And if you want to go back into the 90s, I think
Eisner was doing his best to pump out rides.
Yeah.
And, he made it a decent way. He had a decent run of that. But still, progress is progress, and new is always better. Is that?
Yeah. Walt Disney said something about that. All right. Well, JJ, do you want to take us out here?
Okay. Well, that's about all the time we've got. Make sure to check us out on all social media platforms. We are at ReedyGeeks. Feel free to send us an email, reedygeeks@gmail.com, and we'll see you again real soon.
Your work here is finished, my friend. Go out to the command ship and await my orders.
This week's Honest Send-Off comes courtesy of Palpatine from Naboo. If you have an honest send-off that you want played at the end of one of our episodes, please submit an audio clip to us via our email address, reedygeeks@gmail.com. ReedyGeeks, a Walt Disney World podcast, is hosted and executive produced by Andrew Shopee, Sean Murphy, and JJ Hefner. Music and audio engineering by JJ Hefner.
Bon voyage!